Hey, welcome back to another Black City coffee vlog. In this video we're going to talk about, am I a coffee snob? I'd say I'm a recovering coffee snob. Yeah. I think what happens with coffee snobbery is, well, in my case, let me tell you what happened in my case, okay? So I first began drinking coffee maybe when I was 14 or 15 years old, put cream and sugar in that mother. I was drinking Folgers most of the time, drip system, at home. That's what my dad drinks, so that's what I drank. As I started to get older, and especially during college, why I drank black coffee or switched over to black coffee, still not knowing about specialty coffee, was just for money reasons. I was just like, I don't have money for or too lazy to go and get cream and sugar, so I'm just going to drink it black. Black Folgers drip coffee, and I thought that was fine. And also during that time I was thinking, oh, I'm like a hard, mother because I'm drinking black coffee, and I had that sort of belief about me. Later on, probably when I was done with college, and I had slightly become more aware of specialty coffee, I was still drinking it black, and I was still now getting used to the idea of light roasted coffee. I was like, cool medium, cool dark for sure, because dark I thought meant strong, which I thought strong in caffeine meant like better, or I'm also strong. Which I didn't really say this out loud to myself because that'd be super weird, but I did think that, I think, like unconsciously, that's just the attitude that happens. And it's certainly, if you look at other people who don't know jack about certain things, but they have their own assumptions about it because they're equating certain things in their mind to that, like strong coffee means strong person. It's really very, very silly when it's not even rooted in any facts or detail or even experience. Anyway, so from that, I was just like, first being introduced to light roasted coffee, I was just like, this is weird. This tastes very fruity, and I'm not used to fruity, and that's all it really is. I'm not used to it. I was not used to drinking something like that. Little did I know that I would become a very avid light roasted coffee drinker, so much so that I began to become sort of snobbish about anybody who didn't really see or experience or didn't know about light roasted coffee. Like, oh, you don't even know what's good, And there's sort of ego, especially when you're young, it takes over. And sometimes people don't even grow out of it when they're young. But an ego takes over and says, I know the way. I know the best way to have coffee. And you're doing it all wrong. And that sort of air where you get to sit up on your high horse just because you know a little bit more or you have a little bit more experience with something is very prevalent, like in so many different things, right? Like, and in my particular case, I'm not proud to say it, but I will be very honest to say and just be accountable and own up to how I was and who I was, with a very, very big ego. I had a very big ego about things. I had an ego about entrepreneurship. I had an ego about marketing, and I probably still do. And I had an ego about coffee. And when I first came into coffee, I was like, I'm only going to roast light roasted coffee because that's the way it should be consumed. That's what I believed. And I didn't really, honestly, I still don't believe that there's anything wrong with that. However, I think it is sort of short-sighted in that when I was saying, I'm only going to roast light roasted coffee, and that's how people should drink it, and they should drink it black, because that's how you really taste stuff like that. Those are all of my personal beliefs about coffee. But just yesterday, I just poured some freaking, I was like, man, I want something sweet. I want like a sweet cup today. I don't know why, I just kind of do. I feel like it'll pick me up, and I feel like it. I just feel like putting heavy whipping cream, because I didn't have any milk. I'm gonna put this heavy whipping cream in my coffee, in my double shot espresso right now, and just make a drink out of that. And when I drink it, I was like, yeah, that hits a spot. And then so I'll find myself in little moments like that where I'm going against what I think is the best, and it's not even like trying to choose tribes like that, but that's that's how we operate as humans, is we like to pick sides, and we like to be like in this camp, and we like to be like, this is the way it should be done. And that's fine, because what it does is like it churns innovation, it churns competition, which again turns again innovation, and things move and evolve and change and are challenged. And I think that in general is very good. When it becomes sort of toxic is, I'll just give you my example, is not even willing to see or listen or try the other ways of doing things like coffee, like not even willing to try roasting dark, you know. And I had sort of like a black and white sort of attitude about coffee. And I'm just kind of like that. Like if you look back in my content beforehand, I boast that I'm this purist. And I feel like, yeah, that's just in my character and who I am. I like things to be like that. I like things to be pure. And I like to go like, well, what is it really supposed to be? And I like investigating that and then, you know, putting my efforts toward that. And I think personally, that's great and fine and good for me. When it becomes sort of negative and toxic is when I maybe would judge others who are putting my coffee in a Keurig. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And now I'm like, I'm so for it. I'm so for you just trying Black City coffee and going, hey, cool, I've never tried this before. And that's the new joy that I've found in coffee, not just producing something for me all the time. You know, and I think that's a part of growing up and maturing and putting your thoughts on camera the way that I do, because now I have to kind of like eat my words and stuff, and that's okay. I'm okay to eat my words. And I think more and more people should be okay to kind of like eat their words and be like, oh yeah, I did used to think like that. But I feel like this now, you know, and in a couple of days, maybe I'm going to change to something else. But that is the beauty of the life. That's the beauty of this thing. You know, it's going to change. And it's not like you don't know that. It's not like I don't know that things change or that my opinion changes or that I'm going to grow and evolve and things like that. But we often forget it. And we often forget to move from that awareness that things change and nothing is set in stone. So it's cool to have reminders like this. I love making videos like this to remind myself, to humble myself, to know that when people are consuming Black City coffee in whatever way that they want to consume it and not judge others or be a coffee snob about coffee and how I impose this craft that I have and this passion that I have for coffee upon others, that's the most beautiful thing I think that I could contribute to the world of coffee is, once again, add a different flavor or a different way of seeing something. And there's so many times where I hear and learn a lesson from somebody that I'm sure somebody else has told me, but I couldn't hear them because they weren't speaking my language. Like I didn't like learning from them. You know, however they said it, maybe it's the same lesson, but the way that they deliver it is not what speaks to me. So if I can do that for somebody else, say try, not drink, but just try light roasted coffee because I too was somebody who was like against it in a way, and they get to try and maybe they even like it or they just find it interesting or they go, oh, that was weird. You know, it just adds another realm of depth for that person. So I'm really just passing the torch because there are so many times where I found myself creating depth within myself. Oh, there's somebody here. So yeah, it's just another way for me to pass the torch and move the needle, so to speak. We're in this kind of marathon of life together, and I feel like every time I make a piece of content, I can pass the baton again to somebody and go, hey, here's a little bit more from my experience. Take it or leave it, you know, take it or leave it. But that's the fun of it for me. So, am I a coffee snob? I used to be. I'm not. I'm not anymore. I would love everybody that I meet who comes in contact with us, I would just love for you to try something different. Not necessarily my coffee, but maybe I pique your interest not to just support us and say, get a bag of Black City coffee. No, I would like for you to say, when you go to Intelligentsia and maybe you always get this order, maybe you always just get a black coffee, maybe this time try something else. Be like, what's light roasted coffee? Can I like try that? Like just go into a cafe and ask for that and be like, oh, like what is this? What are these flavors? And just sort of taste it, you know, see what it tastes like and be like, what's all the hype about? And, you know, when you go in there, kind of be unarmed, take your defenses down, and if you really are going to taste something, like really taste it and be like, you know, just do the things that you have to do to taste it. And I think that's where we win together. You know, not really about like, buy my coffee or do this or do it this way or do it that way. Keep exploring, keep doing new things. We really need to hone down on any judgment or snobbery or barriers for someone else to peek into your world, your passion, and if they're sharing it with you or even attempting to share it with you, to be grateful for that. Like if you want to, try medium roasted coffee and then maybe like have a fine ground and then go brew it in an AeroPress, like go do that. You know what I mean? I really feel like the only rules that matter are the ones that make you happy. The ones that, you know, serve a purpose. Any other rules or snobbery that lends itself to toxicity and negativity, I'm so over that. I'm over that in this channel, and all I want to do is share my experience, and hopefully maybe somebody goes, oh, okay, that's how you do it. Let me take what I want from that and just do my own thing. Okay? Anyway, so whether you're doing it Keurig style, whether you're doing it Chemex, whether you're doing it espresso, I really love that. I love that you're doing it your way, you know. I just want you guys to be able to experience and consume this snapshot of everything that I put into 10 or 12 or maybe even 14 minutes of a roast, whatever you ordered, light, medium, or dark, whatever, and taste the thing which, you know, during that time I put so much love and effort into. Does that make sense? All right. So a little update, lastly, to round up this video, is your coffee samples. So they're going to be coming to you like this. I think this is a cost-effective way, in like a little envelope like this with your coffee sample in here. And thank you so much for signing up for free samples and trying our coffee. And hopefully when it gets to you, the temperature or the trip doesn't affect the coffee. That will be very interesting to see. Like, does it come to you guys all chipped and smashed? Then I'll be like, oh, then I need to figure out a different way of sending samples. But let's just see, okay? So I'm putting together samples for you guys. Thank you for signing up. Please be patient. We're figuring out the whole shipping thing, what that's going to be about. Yeah, if you want a free sample and you haven't got one already, please sign up on the website at blkcitycoffee.com. I think there'll be like a little pop-up or something. I'm still working on it. We're still working things out. At least I got the sign-up form out there to collect your addresses, which I don't share, and then I'll be able to ship you your free sample. Okay. What I choose to be shipping to you guys right now, what I have right now is Brazil and Honduras. So if you haven't tried that, and I think the Brazil is like a dark roast and the Honduras is like a medium roast or something like that. It's not very clear. It won't be very clear because I kind of forgot to write it down, but if I really go back and track in my roast path, I could probably find that out for you. Okay, but maybe by you tasting it, you'll be able to just tell me, hey, this was a dark roasted Brazil or this was a light roasted Honduras. Okay? So good things. Hope you guys are well, keeping safe, keeping healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.